Hello everyone, welcome to Fat 50 and Running a Marathon, a channel dedicated to health, diet, fitness, and goal achievement. I'm your humble host Topher, and I hope you'll like this video, subscribe to the channel, and more importantly weigh in with your thoughts, opinions, and relatable stories in the comments section. So, this week we're going to discuss walking, and this is the first in a two-part series regarding walking. What I wanted to do was look into not just the benefits of walking, but specifically some of the lesser known benefits, and or in some instances I wanted to find out the reasoning behind some of those benefits. For example, one of the known benefits of walking is losing weight. Well, according to a post that I found in Harvard Med, one of the reasons that walking helps you lose weight is that it counteracts the effects of fat-producing genes. A study of 12,000 participants found that those who walked briskly for at least a half hour a day had a reduction in the effects of 32 different fat-producing genes. Or fat-promoting genes, I guess I should say. That being the case, that's one of the many ways, other than just burning calories, that walking can help you lose weight. Number two, turns out that walking tames the sweet tooth. A study done by the University of Exeter found that 15 minutes of walking can not only curb the desire for chocolate, but it also lessens the amount of chocolate eaten during stressful periods. So, I had no idea. It's something I'm going to consider doing because oftentimes late at night I'll start getting a sweet tooth, and something I'm going to consider doing now is, instead of feeding that sweet tooth, maybe just going for a walk, coming back and seeing if I still feel the same way. Another benefit of walking is the reduction in the risks of breast cancer. An American Cancer Society study found among women who walk 7 hours a week or more that their risk of breast cancer was reduced by 14%. And what's more, that included even women who were obese or women who take supplemental hormones, which I did not know this, but apparently are two very good indicators or risk factors for breast cancer. So even those who had those risk factors of obesity or taking supplemental hormones experienced a 14% reduction in their risk of breast cancer by walking 7 hours a week or more. So there you go. Another thing that walking does is that it eases joint pain. And it eases joint pain by, one, lubricating your joints, and I did not get into an in-depth search as to how exactly walking lubricates your joints, maybe somewhere down the road, because each one of these video series is going to be replicated in the future. It's just as I gain more knowledge, we'll have more series about them. But anyway, walking does apparently reduce joint pain by lubricating the joints, and then this one kind of stands to reason. By walking, you're strengthening the muscles around your joints, your knees, your hips, what have you, your ankles even. And so by strengthening those muscles around the joints, you're creating more cushion and strengthening the foundation of those joints, thus creating less joint pain. And lastly, last benefit that I want to discuss in this particular video is that walking boosts immune function. A study of 1,000 people found that those who walked 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week or more, had 43% fewer sick days than those who only exercised once a week or less. So 5 days a week, 20 minutes a day of walking, you're going to have 43% fewer sick days than a number of your coworkers. To me, that seems like a pretty decent benefit. Okay, now I want to talk about what you can do to increase the amount of walking in your day / week / month / life. The first of which I'm going to bring up is to make more trips. Now, I don't know if you're guilty of this, but I'm very, very, very guilty of this. You know the guy who's got 18 grocery bags in each hand rather than make 2 or 3 different trips to the car to bring up the groceries? That's me. That's me, and it's been me for decades, and for literally decades, friends and family have said to me, why don't you just make a couple more trips? And somehow in my head, I've won the grocery trek if I manage to do it all in one trip. So one of the ways you can do, if you're guilty of that like I am, and it turns out from what I've been reading in some of, from some of my friends and family, that a lot of us are guilty of that, and it doesn't seem to be just a male thing. Seems as though a lot of you women are doing this too. So what I'm going to suggest, and what I personally am going to try to do, is make more trips. And there's so much evidence to support that carrying a great deal of weight like that is actually doing harm to a number of your joints. You're putting more weight on your body to carry, and that's not good for you. So honestly, the smarter thing, and really the better thing, is to make more trips. You're going to increase the amount of walking that you're doing, and you're going to put less stress upon your feet and knees and hips and even your arms from all that carrying. If you want to work out your arms, great. It's something that I do every night, but use dumbbells and not, trying to eliminate the number of trips down to the car to bring it up the groceries. Okay, second suggestion is ask yourself, do you really have to make this drive? Now, we all have our errands that we have to run, but ask yourself, is this errand close enough that I could just walk to the errand and walk back? For example, do you need to take a couple of shirts to the dry cleaners? Is the dry cleaner less than 1.5 miles away? Is the weather nice? Maybe consider making a walk to the dry cleaners, because for one, you're going to be walking back with less than you had when you walked there. You're going to be dropping off the articles of clothing. And two, it saves gas. It may save your parking space. If you, like me, live downtown, you make a quick trip like that, your parking space is gone, and you gotta park further and further away. So consider the possibility of not making that drive. Now, in the same vein, in respect to parking, I'm going to suggest parking a little bit further away. Now, I don't want you to park in the dark end of the grocery store's parking lot just so that you can make more steps. That's not safe. That's not smart. But if you're in a well-lit parking lot, for example, some of the supercenters have very well-lit parking lots, meaning that you can park clear at the other end of the lot and still safely walk through the parking lot, well-lit, and accumulate more steps. So that's just an idea, something that I'm throwing out as a possibility to gain more steps in your walking. If you want to start a regular routine of walking, something I'm going to suggest is breaking up your Netflix marathon with walking. I'm not suggesting that you don't watch all of season 4 of whatever your favorite show is. What I'm going to suggest is say to yourself, okay, after episode 5 out of, say, an 11 episode season, I'm going to get up, I'm going to walk for, you fill in the blank with however many minutes you think you should do. If you're just starting off and you want to do a 5-minute walk, 5 minutes is better than 0 minutes. Okay? 3 minutes is better than 0 minutes. A single minute is better than 0 minutes. So, break up that marathon, maybe even break it up a couple of times. If you got a 12 episode season, after season 3, after season 6, after season 9, you're going to go for just a short, brisk walk. That's a way to start making yourself become a walker. And lastly, I'm going to suggest getting a walking accountability buddy. Now, this is a very common practice, or a suggestion, I should say, for health trainers. They tell you if you want to start exercising, get a friend, convince them that the two of you should start exercising at a time that works for both of you, and that way each of you is on the other one's back saying, hey, aren't we supposed to be walking today? Aren't we supposed to be walking this evening? Aren't we supposed to walk this morning? When you got somebody who is your accountability buddy, you're more likely to do it. And studies have shown, and I don't have those studies here, but studies have proven that we are more willing to let ourselves down than we are other people. And if you make a promise to yourself that you're going to walk every Thursday morning at 7:30 for a half hour, you have no problem letting yourself down. A lot of us don't anyway. But if your neighbor, who's expecting you to show up at his or her door at 7:30 every Thursday morning to go for that half-hour walk, doesn't see you and calls you, taps on your door, says, hey, where are you? Where you been? Where are you going? Did you already leave? Are we going to do this walk? Blah, blah, blah. You're much more likely to follow through with the commitment that you made. We honor commitments to other people with greater sincerity than we do commitments to ourselves. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. That's part 1 in this video series. We're going to have another video on Friday. I'm going to go over some more benefits of walking, and there's going to be some more information in that video. So I hope you'll come back for the Friday video. Until next time, remember, only by taking care of ourselves first are we capable of taking care of others. Thank you for watching, and please be sure to comment in the comments section. Topher.